And like even outside of this racing, I try to network people and try to show them what racing is, to do more of my part to bring more minorities inside the sport too.
What's up, y'all? This is Sullivan Anderson with True Star Media, and today we are hosting Empowered and Prepared, which is a visual podcast dedicated to inspiring young people to be their best selves. And today we have the pleasure of hosting Lavar Scott, who is a 20-year-old NASCAR driver doing amazing things for himself in his industry. So Lavar, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you guys for having me, seriously.
So can you just start off by telling us a little bit about your background and how you got here where you are?
Yeah, so like you said earlier, I'm a 20-year-old NASCAR driver. I started racing when I was 5 years old, and kind of in a family aspect. My mom was a drag racer growing up. My grandpa drag raced. My aunts and uncles, everybody in our family kind of raced. So when I was like 2 or 3, my brother was 5. He obviously started racing, so seeing my older brother do that, right? That's what I want to do now because he was doing it. So when I was 5, I did that. I became pretty successful in the little go-karts we were running. And then when I was 10 and 12, moved into bigger cars. And then when I was 16, moved into bigger cars, and now being 20 years old, I'm in the ARCA Menards Series with Rev Racing.
Okay, cool. Yes. So you talked a little bit about your mom and your grandfather drag racing. How did they inspire you to chase your dreams at the young age of 5 when you started?
Yeah, I mean, just seeing how fun racing was, how it was a family thing. Like all throughout the week, my grandpa, we own auto and towing business back at home. Okay. And after everybody got done work, they'd all go back to our house and go out in the shop and work on race cars. Like see how big my family was into it. I obviously want to be a part of that and try to be successful in it. And my family's done everything they could do to bring me all the success that I want to have in my career. I mean, my mom would take me to all the practices I needed to go to, get me all the cars and equipment we needed to be fast. So if it wasn't for that family thing that they brought to me, it definitely wouldn't be possible now.
Yeah, so you mentioned, legacy and that being important to you. Was there any pressure associated with you starting at such a young age and having that family dynamic?
Not at all. I can't even tell you how my mom, my grandpa, my family, how anybody in my family, what we wanted to do or accomplish, they just support our goals no matter what. But racing was something that I really wanted to do. Mm-hmm. Like I said, my grandpa working on all the race cars and then going to the track and winning with the cars that he prepared for us. It was the greatest feeling ever. So and I wrestled, I did other sports, and my mom would drive us 2 hours for practice. So anything I wanted to accomplish, she would have helped me in. But I chose racing, and I think it's paying off pretty well.
It is paying off. It is. So like you said, you started at 5 and now you're 20. Has your ambition behind racing changed since you grown?
I think my mindset kind of what I'm racing and what I'm here for now has changed. Seeing NASCAR and obviously African American background, I want to bring more minorities inside the sport and more people of my color inside the sport. And being younger and just going to track racing just to win is one thing, but now kind of racing for a purpose is another thing. So I'm just being older and recognize what's going on in the world and in our country and want to try to help change it is kind of what's changed most importantly.
Great. So I know you're young, you're probably on social media,
yep.
And in today's day and age, it's really easy to get distracted. So how do you stay focused in the midst of that?
On social media, honestly, I'm really only on it if I need to be on it, or make a post, or if I'm on Twitter, it's just looking at the race and stuff, because it is very easy to get distracted. Now, other social media, I use Snapchat, just to snap my friends, hey, what are you up to today? Well, I'm doing this, and I'm in Chicago doing an event today. What are you up to? I'm testing a car somewhere, little things like that. But social media it's a very useful tool. It's also a very dangerous tool.
Yes.
So I just kind of have a limit of how much I use it and when I use it and what's kind of the appropriate stuff to see on it. For me, of course.
Yes. So I can imagine you talked about before your experiences in this field as a Black man can be challenging at times. How do you feel that your experience with NASCAR's Drive for Diversity program have helped with that?
It's been amazing. They have done everything they could for me, for people before me, people after me, to kind of be successful in this industry and not have the difficulty and challenges that a lot of people before me had in the past. I mean, when we show up to the track, we know our cars are good. We're surrounded by great people, and we had to really build our awesome team around Rev Racing and NASCAR Drive for Diversity to make sure everybody comes through the programs and in a great position and has a great chance to be successful.
Sounds great. So I know that you're around other minority drivers as well. Have you learned anything about the importance of networking across? Have you made any good friends?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Networking is huge in this industry, and I think in every business industry. Networking is amazing. Roger Caruth, he's probably one of my biggest ones that he was here the year before me, and all the challenges that he's going through, me and him are best friends now. So we stay close. We meet people together. We talk to people together. We kind of go through the same challenges and tribulations together. So, and even outside of this racing, I try to network people and try to show them what racing is, to do more of my part to bring more minorities inside the sport too.
Yes, so you talked about mentorship and the people that you surround yourself with. As a professional driver, it's very important for you to keep your head in the game. So how do you take the steps to surround yourself with like-minded people?
Yeah, racing is a super mentally challenging sport. It's hard because you obviously want to win all the time, right? But you're competing against 40 other cars all the time, so it's hard to. It's 1 out of 40. It's hard to win every time you can, right?
Yeah.
So I think in our industry, you're probably going to, for a good season, you want at least 2-3 wins, and you're racing for 36 races, so the odds aren't that great. So for me, seeing that and going through that for a little bit was very challenging. So I kind of had to find this balance outside of sport of what keeps me happy, because I don't want to have a bad race and be upset all week, right?
Right.
To be honest with you, I got a life coach and just different things I can do to stay positive inside the car, outside the car. Just know whatever situations we're going through, it's part of it, and God's placed that situation at my hand to be a better person out on the other side of it.
Right, and you mentioned that race car driving is a very mentally taxing sport. So can you tell us a little bit about what your worst loss looked like and how you coped with that?
I don't really say I had a worse loss. I definitely had some challenging moments, but we're going to lose all the time. Even I think wrestling has helped me a lot with it, because from losing wrestling, it's a very, very challenging, because now you lost is 1-1. You lost against another person, but when you're losing racing, there's so many factors that kind of determine what the outcome of a race can be. But it's just hard. I didn't have one race that kind of was just upsetting. It's just when you don't win, it's all upsetting. You're all trying to be mellow through it all, through the ups and downs.
Right. So obviously resilience is a very important quality to have. And you talked a little bit earlier about how you have to enjoy your life outside of racing. So how do you find time to enjoy yourself and keep your head in the game at the same time?
Yeah, it's hard. Honestly, to be successful inside of this industry, you have to racing has to be 24/7. You wake up, you got workouts, you have simulators, you have to be out in the shop, just seeing what you can do to be a better driver, from working on the car to helping the crew chief diagnose issues with the car. And then when you're at home or in the conference room, you're working on emails or sponsorship stuff and branding, and that takes up all day. So if you're not spending all your time in racing, it's kind of hard to have an outside life. But I try to, my off weekends, I try to prioritize going to the beach this summer with my friends, or just I want to go learn to play golf. There's little things that I want to try to learn to do, hobbies that can just make my life outside of racing happy too.
Yeah, so you talked a little bit about your peers at this age. How important is it for you to not compare yourself? Because we said that you're 20 years old. A lot of people at 20 are in college at this age.
Yep.
So do you ever compare yourself? And if so, how do you deal with that?
I think it's such a natural thing to do, right? With social media, you go on social media and see Bronny James, my age, right?
Yeah,
he's an NBA player making a couple $1 million now.
Yeah.
It's very easy to do, but you also have to, everybody's situation is different. I think my situation is what God's placed in my hands, and it's reason. So and that's hard for me to kind of understand. And I used to struggle with that a lot, but after just talking with the right people and understand that everybody's situation is different, you cannot compare yourself to literally no one. Just do what you're supposed to do. I think that's when it got easier for me to understand that. And I look at social media now, I'm happy for other people to be successful. I want to see Bronny James or any other athlete in the college doing big things at my age, and especially African Americans. I want to see us really performing well and not feel no type of jealousy or resentment towards it, because it's not me. My time's going to come at some point. I just got to play the course.
Yeah, your time has already come. Look at the success that you have at this age. Yeah. So, it's no secret that race car driving is dangerous. Is there anything that scares you about the sport? And if so, how do you deal with that?
Nothing scares me inside the car. The only time you get the normal pressure, just wanting to perform well, right? But you don't like get scared. I mean, I feel like you have so much adrenaline running through your body, like going 200 miles per hour, that it's hard to kind of stop and get scared. You have to kind of just do what you're doing at that exact moment. I would say, honestly, probably more just off the track stuff scares me, like how to close a sponsorship deal or how to talk to the right people, network, that kind of thing. It isn't scary, but it's like stuff's out of your control, right? So that's probably the more thing that kind of intimidates me rather than actually driving the car.
So you said that the things outside of the car, are the hardest things to deal with. Is there anybody that you look to help you with those kinds of things, a big mentor? Yeah, I mean, I think I have a good amount. Obviously, with I'm here with today, Jason Campbell, and then Rev Racing's put a great team around me. Chris DeGromo and Max Eagle, he helps me a lot with just trying to figure out the right things to do outside the car to progress in the sport. And I think I don't keep my circle small about the people I try to talk to about that stuff, because it is important. But I think the people that I have with me around me now is pretty smart in that field. So I kind of try to keep it small with those people. Yeah. So what advice would you give to someone who has big dreams but is scared to put themselves out there?
You have to do it. You have to go to work. The earlier you start, the better you're going to get. I mean, I started racing when I was 5 years old, and I'm 20 years old. It's 15 years. I'm still not at the top level yet. But if you really want to achieve something, you have to go in it now and do it at the greatest you can do it, and just work on your abilities and be better.
Yeah, so you talk about pushing past fear a lot.
Yes.
What does the best version of Lavar Scott look like, and how do you see yourself achieving that in the future?
Best version of myself. Me, I want to get wins all the time. I want to show up to the track very confident, getting wins, and like I said, I want to travel a lot more and being with the youth, showing the kids what NASCAR is, and even outside of sports, just if people want to talk just as a human to human. I think that's to be the best version of myself, and I can continue doing what I'm doing now is just make it even better.
So you talk a lot about inspiring the youth. What does that look like in the future for you to do that?
Yep. So what I'm doing now, I travel a lot to talk to youth and talk to kids in the STEAM program. Tomorrow I'm going with the Boys and Girls Club.
Okay.
But I do that probably once a month or once every other month. If I can honestly do that more often, I think that would be great for me. Growing up, I looked at Kyle Larson, who's a Cup Series driver, and there's things that he did, but I was always on YouTube just watching him. And now I know if kids or me, if I can go to an actual facility and see kids person to person, I think that would even change the trajectory of a lot of kids' lives. Maybe not, but I think it could definitely make an impact, and that's something I want to do.
Yeah. So we talk a lot about preparation. How important is it to mentally stay ready so that you don't have to get ready?
That's a big one. I say that a lot. It's very important. I think a lot of people, when they have what we talked about earlier in off season, they go chill for a little bit out somewhere and just chilling. But I think me personally, I like to stay ready just get ready and stay ready. So during the off season, I'm constantly doing the same workouts, same routine every day. I don't want to ever lose focus of that. And so I think if you just find something that works for you and that you're capable of doing, kind of sticking with that. And don't kind of just do that. Just kind of stay flow and natural with everything.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
So we talked about the serious stuff. Now it's time for a fun question. What does your hype playlist look like when you're getting ready for a race?
When I'm not racing, it's mainly just Drake. Probably all Drake, really. But racing, I try to switch it up some. Drake, I don't know.
Well, I think I know.
That's probably just Drake, to be honest with you. He has so many different flows and songs that kind of get me ready for racing. So Drake.
Yeah, I used to like Drake too, but until that feud came out with him and Kendrick, I don't know whose side.
We're not gonna get into this conversation.
I don't know.
No, I'll admit, Kendrick was he had a couple good songs, but
he did. I mean,
it was nothing that Drake couldn't do. So
yeah. I feel that. So you've been in Chicago for a day now or so?
Yes, a day.
Have you had any Chicago food? What's your favorite food?
I had Harold's yesterday.
Okay.
Chicken was really good.
Which one did you go to?
It was 100 of them. I don't even know.
Oh, okay.
I think 83rd.
Okay, that's
60. I don't know. 53rd. I don't know. One of them. 87.
87? 87. Okay, 87. That's a good one.
It was very good. I actually cooked it.
Oh, wow. Yeah. They let you cook it?
Yep, I was in the back cooking.
Okay. Yeah, I love that for you.
And then today we're going to the Wiener Circle.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So,
So that's
trying it out.
hot dogs? Or?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Cool.
So I'm excited for that.
Okay. I like Harold's too. So.
It was very good.
You got to try Illuminati's or Giordano's deep dish
People
pizza.
have been saying that.
Yeah.
Yep. So I'm going to go. If we have time, I'm going to go anywhere I can go. I love eating.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being here with us today. We really appreciate you being here and, look forward to seeing what you do in the future.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me, guys.